ladies and gentlemen? This is DJ Courage going on the podcast, and we are back. Okay, just a little bit on the NFL, just what I've done, what I've seen. Okay, it was a real close game. I don't know what happened, but the Texans managed to win against the Jaguars. So hoorah, we did it. And when it was the first quarter, and the Jaguars were looking kind of. I really didn't get a chance to see the game because the Texans. They were really they were. It seemed like they were in trouble during the first quarter. I didn't see the rest of it, but I thank God that they won, and not much of a celebration because I don't feel like I was a part of it. But man, that was a close one. That was a real close one. I didn't think the Jaguars were gonna come up like that. I thought it was gonna be a real easy game. And going on the Vikings, oh my God, man, those Vikings are looking pretty bad. And we lost against the Vikings last week, and I'm gonna let you know something I didn't like. But the Vikings, I'm looking pretty good, and I'm just gonna say what I think, and I just think the Vikings might just have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I just think the Vikings, they might make it. But I'm looking at Mahomes. I didn't see the game, but I don't know if they barely won that game. We're just gonna call KC the barely winners. That's what they are, the barely winners. They doing it again. I don't know how. They gotta have some kind of magic, man, because they're just barely winning every freaking game. And I didn't see the rest of the game. But it seems like Mahomes is just a barely winner, and he just got talent with that barely win. He's got some kind of magic. You don't go in the NFL and just, or it's either that or it's rigged. I'm like, what the hell is going on? How are you gonna barely win all the time? I'm gonna give them the nickname. I don't care if they made it to the Super Bowl. They're the barely winners. KC are Saints as the barely winners. I don't care what they're boasting on. I can't give them credit, and I'm not going to give them credit. They're Super Bowl champions, but they're barely winners. That's what I'm looking at. Congrats to my Colts. We made it. We won that game. I didn't really see it, but I know that the Colts won. I am partly a Colts, Louisiana, Minneapolis Colts fan, and I'm partly a Green Bay fan. And I'm a hardcore Texans fan. And I'm looking at my Texans really did it, but I was looking at the game with Green Bay, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I didn't even want to see that game, and I didn't see the game. In fact, the way I saw it, they got blowed out in the first, second quarter, and I was ready to get out of there. And I fell asleep. I was so stressed trying to look at the Texans and Green Bay that I could care less about that game. I was like, hell no, I could care less. And I stunned off for the second quarter for the Texans. I'm looking, and I'm like, just let the Texans win, and I just fell asleep. I fell asleep. I didn't look at the rest of the game, but thank God we made it through. Now, that's a little bit about what I have to say, but I kind of want to make some predictions. I think the barely winners KC we might just get a Super Bowl with KC and the Vikings. Is what I'm looking at, and I kind of feel like the barely winners. I don't know. They seem like they have that barely talent to win Super Bowls. That barely talent, and the Vikings, they're looking vicious. They're looking vicious, and they got that kind of that rage, and they're determined about. I'm looking at how they just played. They played the Green Bay Packers. I mean, whoa! And I'm looking at I was stressed in the whole game. I'm looking at the Texans on my phone, the score, and I'm looking at how I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm like, oh hell no! I can't do my. I turned the game off. I turned it back on, and I said, you know what? I can kill it. I'm turning this off and going back to sleep. But that's what I saw, and I'm looking at Texans, man. I'm looking at the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they're not gonna make it to Super Bowl. My prediction, not only they're not gonna make it to Super Bowl, they're not gonna make it to playoffs. They got too much competition, and another like the Texans, we have faced teams like that and we have won. That's why we're gonna give credit to the Texans because we have done that, and they don't give us credit. They don't give us credit, but we have done that. We won championship after championship, and you know what? We might not make it to the Super Bowl this year, but I'll tell you something. Chances are we're gonna make it South Division champions once again, and we're just gonna keep on going. And I kind of feel I don't know how long Stroud's gonna be with us. I don't know how long that 24 is gonna be with us, but I kind of feel like we're just gonna keep winning championships. A Super Bowl right now is yet to be seen. Now I may be wrong. I'm slightly wrong. By the grace of God, if we make it to Super Bowl, we did something. But I'm looking at the way it is. We're gonna make it to playoffs, but we're not. We're not. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, we can't really predict us making it to Super Bowl just yet. I think Stroud needs more practice, and he needs more practice with the ball, and he's got yet to become a Tom Brady. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think our superstar, and we've been given credit. Our superstar is way better than Mahomes. I stand by that because that's a barely winner. That's a barely winner, and I don't know what kind of magic he's got, but that's a barely winner. Now I saw another game where this was the what was it the Jets. I didn't really see the game, but I know the Jets, and I don't know the outcome of that. But Denver was there. I don't know anybody that goes against the Jets gonna have a hard time. But that's just a little bit about what I think on today's um games, and I kind of feel like I'm just keeping on with the podcast, and I'm just going on. Um, I'm just glad we made it out there, but I'm kind of scared of them Vikings. I'm looking at them Vikings, man. Them Vikings are vicious, and I kind of feel like they want it just that bad. They want it just that bad, and they just might get it. All right, that's enough of my podcast. I'm out. DJ Courage podcast. Thank you.